Now, TUSK's Joe Murray talks to Divide and Dissolve.
Everybody, welcome to TUSK TV. My name is Joe, and we're joined today by the absolutely immense Divide and Dissolve. So we've got Kia on sax and guitar, and we've got Sylvie on drums. Hello, how are you doing?
Great, how are you?
Very well, very well. It's so lovely to speak to you. We really love your music. You know, Gaslit absolutely blew our heads off. So it's so kind of you to make the time to speak to us. I've got a bunch of questions. Is that all right? Just a couple of sort of questions to ask you about your music and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okie dokie. So when I listen to your music, there's all these layers in there. Okay. So I hear this crushing heaviness. And then underneath that, there's this decay. There's things kind of like falling apart and what have you. And then there's this weird like time slip. How on earth do you do that? How do you make music that sounds like that, like three things at once?
They're all connected. All those elements are connected and follow on from the other. And the thing that is informing all of that is our connection with each other.
Okay.
To Kia and I, our connection to our breathing.
Okay.
And our connection to our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
and the earth, and like all those things are present when we're playing together.
You know.
And also amplification.
Yeah.
Amplification has a lot to do with the sounds that we make and like the feeling that we can create. Because you can feel it.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you about volume, you know, because I was watching some of your live videos, and you can see people kind of like standing back like that. How important is volume then?
Yeah, one person told us that he shat his pants at our show.
Excellent. Oh, sorry, that's my cat there.
People say that they can like feel the music a lot, and when they express that, I know that we're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh, you can feel it, great. That's exactly what we were hoping for.
You also spoke about Sylvie. You said about the kind of connection between you two, the two of you. And when I was watching you when you were playing in some of the videos, there's the eye contact thing all the time. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, we definitely. I feel like I like that you noticed that, but we don't need to look at each other to connect. Like we look at each other before we start, and we take a deep breath together, and that's all we need.
Right.
Because we spend so much time together, and we spend so much time playing together, and our connection is really strong. So yeah, but it is funny. It's fun to catch each other's eye when we're playing.
What are you thinking in those moments then? So you know when you're in the midst of it, you're taking your breath. Do you think of anything?
Oh yeah, I mean it's different every time, but I try and like focus. I just want to focus.
Yeah, when we're playing, I feel like really lost in it in a really beautiful way. It's like, oh wow, this is really cool. Like it just feels like really like floaty and connected. Just like, oh yeah, sweet. Like it feels like our like communication with one another is amazing. And also with like not just with each other. It feels really deep.
Yeah. With the audience too.
Absolutely. And like the earth, and you mentioned time, like we have a real interesting connection with like time and space, and like the like nonlinear nature of it all. It all
Absolutely.
feels like really expansive. Like sometimes when we play, I'm like, what just happened? That's so fun. It feels so good. And yeah, definitely a connection with the audience. Like they can feel us too though. So
Yeah.
I think sometimes like some people come up to us and they're like, oh my God, like you two are so connected. And it's like, yeah, you were there with us. That's awesome. It's really nice like when people have that awareness as well. And we get to like share with them.
Because there's from listening to your records and watching the live videos and stuff that I saw, or the live footage rather, there is that kind of almost that landscape that's being built, and you know you reflect that in some of the videos that you make as well. You know, it really is, here's the landscape, here's some flowers, here's a waterfall, here's us standing in the landscape with our friends and what have you. So again, that connection to the earth really comes through.
Yeah, you could put Sylvia and I like back to back with each other, not looking at one another. And we would like start together, stop together, speed up together, slow down together. Like, yeah, we don't need to see each other. It's just, we just have this like amazing, like inherent connection. And I'm deeply appreciative of it. And it's like reflected in the music that we make with one another.
So again, again, just going back to relationship again, and there's that naturalness, and you said about that kind of chillness as well. So again, I can listen to your music. I had it on headphones this morning, and I was out walking. And there's this crushing heaviness that I mentioned before, but also there's something to do with the time trick that you do. There is a chillness as well. It's kind of like I can hear the birds tweeting at the same time as well, and it's just a wonderful. Organic mix, I guess that maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think.
guys.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Well, because it comes back to our breath. Like we take a deep breath. You know, it's not like we're trying to like smash out some like music. Like we take our time and like allow space to exist within our music, and like space for resonance.
Yeah, the music is really accessible. In terms of like time and timing and everything. It's not like locked in to like a metronome. It's like more like heart based. Like when your heart beats, it beats like at like beats per minute, right? But everyone has their own unique rhythm to their heart. It is not like rigid.
Absolutely.
4/4, 3/4, 6/8. And I feel like our music captures like the rhythm of like nature in that way.
And I guess there's that thing
Maybe
as well where it's
not nature, but like it's just more of like organic timing.
Yeah.
It's not rigid. It's more like it experiences like curvature instead of like rough edges.
Get that.
And that's why the birds could with it.
Birds have gotten in easily. Yeah. I've only got one more question really. So again, it's because your music's instrumental, but you use spoken word in a really deliberate way. So it's Minori Sanchez Fung who does the spoken word bit on Gaslit rather. Wonderful stuff. How did you come across?
Well, one day I was in New York and I like saw this like person in Lycra getting off the bicycle, I was like, whoa, they look cool. And then all of a sudden I was going into this like really small, like very like typical like New York club, like dim lights, like bar vibes, whatever. And then I heard this like poetry coming from stage. And then I was like, whoa, who is that? This is awesome. Cause I, I don't really like poetry that much. Just kind of annoyed by it mostly. But then this was like the perfect poetry. I was like, I feel so emotional. Who is this person? I was like, I told my friends, I was like, you need to introduce me immediately. I have to meet this person. Who are they? And I was like, oh yeah, you're one of my best friends. So we've been hanging out ever since then. And then I was like, hey, you have to meet Sylvie. Sylvie's amazing. Oh my gosh. And then obviously we all get along with each other. And then it was like this like super fun intentional thing being like, obviously we're gonna like put Minori on the album because Minori knows how to like breathe with us too. So yeah, like Minori, we have this like inherent connection with Minori where we don't need to speak with Minori to have an understanding. And that feels profound and special and rare and like worth documenting.
Yeah.
So people could also like feel that feeling as well. But Minori is one of the coolest people I've ever met in my whole life. And one of the smartest and one of the most interesting people. And I think that us getting to work with them is like super like it just feels like a huge blessing. I cannot like I could talk about Minori for hours. I do with Sylvie and like I'm so grateful we have like a relationship with Minori because Minori is one of those people who changes your life for forever. You meet Minori, game changed.
Right.
Like you will not stop thinking about Minori because like it's just like, oh, well now you're in my life. This is awesome. How do we hang out more? So yeah, we're all like really close to Minori, both of us.
I love the fact that it was just a chance encounter. Somebody that you saw in the street and followed into a club turned into a brilliant friendship and a wonderful part of the album. And it is something that fits absolutely perfectly with the rest of the album as well. Need a breather.
Yeah.
It's really nice. That just in exactly the right place.
Well, yeah, my friends are friends with Minori too, so it's like it helped, but yeah, so grateful.
Cuzregindo se era cuxica fială prera cunda en honete fela culan syde biosa köskela Cuzregindo se era cuxica fială prera cunda en honete fela culan syde biosa Nato male mele la tepe